I'm transitioning out of the military, so that is a super stressful time for anybody, and any veteran will agree. I think will agree with me. And the hardest part is to figure out how to do it, how to go to the corporate world, how to get out, how to transfer your skills for the people that have made a career out of this or join just immediately as soon as they turned 18. So it's very daunting joining the corporate world and figuring out how where your place in it is. So as I've been going along with my transition, I had Jewel help me with my resume, which isn't as much as it isn't a small task because you have to figure out how to transfer the skills over to a way that these employers are going to be able to, or even any institution that you want to be a part of to see how you fit into what they need. So I wasn't entirely sure exactly how my skills transferred over either. So Jewel being a big part of this and just helping me phrase my words in a way that made sense, I was able to land an internship with Lockheed Martin, and I was offered a job offer after it as well. So that was extremely awesome. And on top of that, I decided to take my career another step forward, and that was to pursue my master's degree in system engineering at Johns Hopkins.
Oh my goodness, that's like a trifecta, right? So let's break this
Yeah.
down a little bit. So we have the internship that led to the job offer. So tell us, what the internship was, what the job offer was, and where did that fit into your vision that you had for yourself?
So the internship was to work as a systems engineer at Lockheed. So my degree is in system engineering. Um, Lockheed has positions for all sorts of people, and the truth is that my degree wasn't that necessarily. A lot of what you do is on the job training. So what you need to be able to do is adapt and learn new things quickly, right? So that I think is one of the highlights of the resume is that it shows leadership, it shows competence, it shows management. So those are certain keywords I think that a lot of employers look for to see how because a lot not any but many jobs are just on the job training. So if they see that you're capable of working with these teams and learning things on the fly, then they many will think that you're a good fit.
How did you feel as we went through the resume process? I know I asked you 101 questions. Like, how was that conversation with me?
Yeah, so it was maybe a little stressful because I finally had to put what I did into words. And as someone that isn't great with note keeping and having to remember the things that I've done and how to phrase it in a way that somebody who isn't military can understand, I was trying to come up with the right way to use it, but and there's a lot of words that we use that are just exclusive to the military. So um things like being a S3 um plans officer is what does that mean? And Jewel helped translate it to be like that. You can use the terms of just like operations officer, and that is a term that maybe is a little bit more familiar to people that aren't in the military.
How did you feel when you first saw the finished resume, and how well do you feel it represented you and what you really wanted to say?
Yeah, so it was a great feeling because I don't think Jewel had to really come up with something out of nothing to and really stretch the truth and say you're this expert technician when all reality like you changed a light bulb. So it goes a step further and it really just hones in on what you did and explaining it in just ways that we just never really considered before. You're right, that actually is what I was doing. I just never thought about it that way. So it was
Ah,
great to see that I was like, oh wow, like okay, yeah, I did do those things. When I saw my resume, I was like, huh, I never thought about it in that perspective. So it
yeah.
was awesome to say, you know what, maybe I'm not as far behind as I thought. Maybe I can turn this around into something I can use when I go into the corporate world.
So now tell us about the steps that you experienced as far as leading into the internship and then to the job offer. What happened there as far as were folks seeking you out? Did you seek them out and see some opportunity and apply for it? What were the interviews like? Walk us through the steps that happened.
So I worked with a company, that a transition company that the military uses to sort of help veterans transition as well. So basically, I think it's like a reverse job fair where you put your resume out there and people reach out to you. So, like I said before, they're not looking for those necessarily hard technical skills. They're looking for somebody for, and these are organizations, not just Lockheed Martin, but organizations like Google or other defense contractors, finance firms, Chase, USAA, construction, like Caterpillar, a lot of these big organizations that we push your resume out to, and many reached back out and said, "Hey, we like your resume, we want to talk." Um, and so I knew the path the direction I wanted to go, so I selected a few to speak with, and what then there was the interview process, which was not so much dependent on the resume necessarily. I think the resume is a good way to get started, but what it comes down to was like the ability to communicate and show, if your resume says that you have leadership skills, um, and time management and leading teams, they want to see that you're able to actually communicate. And because if you can't really talk to people, then it's doubtful that your resume is actually what you're saying it is.
Right.
So that's the beauty of the resume that Jewel helped me build, is that I didn't have to say something that I wasn't necessarily sure I felt like I did. It was really just highlighting the skills we that I knew I had, and was able to then just bring those up in the conversations with the interviewers. And then from there, a couple got back with me to say that they wanted to offer me a position. And from there, I was able to make the choice. And so it's I was nice to it was good for me to keep my vision open and make sure that I explored all options, because the first choice I wanted to go with, I ended up deciding that maybe I didn't want to go with that, because the interview process isn't just so much about them getting to know you, it's about you getting to know them. So I really like to think about the fact that we are the commodity as well, and that people want us. I try to value myself and think that I'm good, and that people want to work with me, and that they should also bring something to the table and not just me. So yeah, I was able to secure the internship and then got started.
What's the time frame that we're talking about from date of first contact until you got the offer for the internship or for the job?
From the moment my resume was released, and was in the hands of the employers, um, yeah, like 3 days. I had a great experience because I not only had the resume go out, but I also knew who were the people. I already had found the recruiters on LinkedIn, um, and connected with other people that worked at Lockheed, this particular example, and pointed me in their direction. So I hit it from two fronts, right? They had the resumes that they showed up on their desk, and also the phone calls that they were getting saying that, hey, you need to talk to this guy. So I think a big portion as well is, besides the resume, is your ability to network and connect with people and say, hey, this guy's good. Like, get in touch. And you'd be surprised how far a phone call goes for even people you don't even know. If you just say, hey, I'd like to chat, I want to learn a little bit more, it goes a long way.
So, how did you feel about doing some of that outreach and making those calls? How hard or easy was that, and how did it feel?
Yeah, it felt uncomfortable. Um, it felt I kind of felt like a um how do I say I don't want to put down anyone. So I had to it's a good question. Yeah, I was uncomfortable. I was worried of rejection. I was worried that maybe all of these things I did really aren't that impressive and nobody wanted to work with me. And I just found that that was super far from the truth. And there's plenty and it's important not to box yourself in and feel like you have to work with this one company because if that one doesn't work out, all your hopes and dreams are shattered. Because there are people out there that do want to work with you. You just have to find out who they are.
What would you say about the steps that you went through with me, like in the totality of our work together? Um, Hard, easy? Do you need a PhD to partner with me? Is this like, can a grade school or a high school person like effectively do these things that you did? What do you think about that?
So when I started talking to Jewel, I really didn't know where I was going. Like I didn't know what was going to result from it. And there's a lot of, there's the resume building, there's interview prep. And in fact, we actually didn't even get to that point because it kind of happened so quick. So it's something that is, I think, extremely important for anybody that's just out there looking for anything. From school applications to finding jobs to probably even even promotions and negotiations like all that is sort of encompassing so it's like I'm not done working with you yet, Jewel. Like we're gonna get going on the next steps because we have more things to accomplish. So I'm in here in a year I'm gonna be trying to working for new jobs. I'm applying for internships for the next summer and I need to update my resume again and start talking about like what I need to be saying to these companies so that I can really make the most and put myself in the best position. So it's super working it's working with Jules super non-threatening. It's just a conversation and it's she really helped put my mind at ease as far as feeling like I'm not a step behind and that I need to play catch up. Like you're exactly where you need to be, and now it's just time to get moving forward.
Very, very true. Absolutely true. What would you tell other people who are, in the midst of job search mode right now, listening to us, watching this conversation, and trying to figure out if they're going to get this professional help? What would you say to people who are in that spot right now?
Don't undervalue yourself. You are worth more than you think, and you will find I believe that you will find someone out there that will also see that worth. So don't settle for something that you don't feel is right for you. That said, humble yourself, and even be ready to put yourself in not necessarily the position you want to be right now, but the one that you think will take you to where you need to be.
That's good advice. You're telling people to have a bit of a longer term vision, right? It's not just the immediate thing. You gotta think about the long run here, which is really, really good advice. Um, I'm so thrilled that you shared your story with us. Any final words that you want to share?
Be a go-getter. Hound anyone or anything that you can to pursue your goals, your dreams. Um, be fearless. Be willing to um, be able to take rejection and move on from it.
That's what people need to
And
know.
yeah,
You got to be emotionally resilient, right? In order to
absolutely.
do this. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I appreciate that so much.